Hey, I'm Negeen, and look at this binder filled to the brim with 6 months worth of things that I learned in a certification course for neuro-linguistic programming. To be honest with you, I didn't even know what it was during the course taking. Like, my ex was like, hey, I need to be a better sales director. Do you want to join me in this like 6-month course? I'll pay for it. And I was like, okay. And to be honest with you, like over the 6 months, like I really just, everything I learned was really, it was a lot. But there was one thing that literally changed my entire life, and it changed the trajectory of my life. And I'm gonna be sharing with you what that one thing was. You can literally do it too, and we'll do it together. There are going to be 5 things that I'm gonna be sharing in this video. There are 2 exercises that we'll do together. They're very easy, simple. And with that being said, let's get into the very first one. When I first started therapy, the very first thing that my therapist asked me to do was on a Post-it note, he asked me to write down 5 words that I would use to describe myself. Let's get a Post-it note, or you can use your notes app on your phone. He basically just sat me down and was like, okay, I want you to be realistic and think about who you are as a person and how would you describe yourself in this very, very moment. I will write mine and you can write yours, and let's follow up with each other in like a minute. Okay, so I wrote down my 5. And the very first one, I wrote down that I am passionate. The second one is creative. The third one I wrote down is empathetic. The fourth one is caring, and the 5th one is kind. My therapist then challenged me and he goes, okay, I want you to next write down 5 words that you would want to be described as by other people. That was such an interesting exercise for me at that time, because it's so easy to be kind of content sometimes with like who you think you are, but in reality, maybe that's not who you want to be. Maybe you want to have a little bit more depth to you and like a different direction of who you are, wanting to be perceived as a person. So let's take a moment and let's write down 5 words we would love to be described as by someone that we admire. How would you want them to describe you in 5 words? Let's take a moment and let's write that down. Okay, so I just wrote down my 5, but I just remembered that whenever I was in therapy, I remember that one of my words was authentic, and he basically asked me, he's like, do you not feel authentic right now in your life? And I was like, honestly, no. Like, I feel like I'm really like faking it, like faking everything to myself. Like, I just didn't feel like an authentic person at the time. So moving forward in our, our sessions, we really worked on ways for me to be authentic and true to who I am. And so now that I wrote my 5 for, after a couple years, I haven't done this in a while. And the first one is, I'd like to be described as driven. I'd love to be described as intelligent. And my next one is successful. My next one is, I'd love to be described as charismatic. And the last one is, I'd love to be described as genuine. So whatever your 5 words were that you initially would describe yourself as versus what you want to be described as, hang up this one, the one that you want to be described as, somewhere that you can see it every single day. This was a tip that I received from my therapist. He said, I want you to look at this every single day so that when you look at it, your actions are reflective of how you would like to be described as by those around you, and work on it every single day. What actions can you take to hit one of those 5 characteristics that you want to be described as? And then you're going to be one step closer into being the ideal person that you want to morph into. But it's hard for me because I'm so perfect already. Okay, this next one is going to be really fun. Well, for me at least, it was super fun. There was one day where I was venting to my best friend Jen, and I was like, dude, I feel really lost in my life. I have no idea what I'm doing. I feel like I'm so behind in life than other people. Like, I don't feel like I have like enough money. I feel like I'm not doing enough with my days. I feel like I'm lazy. Like, I literally was just telling her how I felt purposeless, misunderstood. I just didn't feel like I was on the right path. I just felt very, very lost. And her reply was, have you taken a 16 personalities quiz? And I was like, Jen, what is that? She's like, what? Okay, you have to take it right now. So I opened up my computer and I typed in, by the way, this is not sponsored, I typed in 16personalities.com, and it is a free personality test. Pause the video right now if you are in the spirits to take a 10-minute thorough personality test. If you're not in the mental headspace to do that right now, that's okay. Just like save the video or save the website and do it later when you're like in a really good mental headspace. My results have been the same the twice that I have taken it. Oh my God, you're gonna find out about your girl. So I found out that I am an INFP. Mine is I am introverted, intuitive, feeling, and perceiving. So maybe you don't really care what I am, but if you do, there's one thing that I learned from this quiz that literally changed how I view myself. And you wanna know what that is? So I felt really misunderstood, right? Because I was under the impression that I needed to be busting my butt at a 9 to 5, working in corporate in order, like I never went down that path, right? Like I've always worked from home. I've never really been money crazy, right? Like a lot of my friends, they make an F load of money, okay? And I don't, and I'm here to like fully be transparent and admit that. I really don't live my life to make a lot of money. Doing stuff like this and just making like the bare minimum while I do suffer sometimes, it's so fulfilling for me. I am content. I don't need to be a millionaire. But that was really hard to explain to those around me because I felt like I was being perceived as lazy. I felt like I was being perceived as missing an opportunity or working hard. I felt like my parents really didn't respect me, or like the people around me didn't respect me because I wasn't working as hard as them. And I lost a lot of hope and trust in myself. But when I took this quiz, basically was saying that I do not get fulfillment from a traditional 9 to 5 work job. I get fulfillment from creative endeavors. And to top it off, I personally cannot thrive in a stressful environment. It literally said that verbatim. So that's number 2. I feel like you kind of get an idea of like who you are already. And I think that is gonna be a great way to lead into our number 3, which is my favorite. Okay, so this third exercise is literally the reason why I got my YouTube plaque, which is over 100,000 subscribers on my other channel, which, you know, I've abandoned now, but I'll explain later at a different time. But basically, this exercise that I'm gonna teach you will literally change your life. It's so easy, it's so incredible, and these 2 things that I have on these pieces of paper literally came true. I'm gonna tell you how to do it. Let me just redo this paragraph. It's part of like this, okay, wait, let me explain. Okay, so really fast was in 2018, my ex was like, hey, well, he was a sales director, so he was leading a sales team, which is very difficult. He was like, I wanna learn more about the brain and how you can help overcome fear and like hit all of your goals. And one of that is your neuro-linguistic programming certification course. You can just spend 6 months learning the tools to help others with overcoming fears and hitting their goals. And it was truly incredible, but there was one thing out of like 6 months worth of lessons that really stuck with me. So basically it's titled Drawing an Apacheta Moment. It says, an Apacheta moment is a specific associated moment that will happen in the future when what you've dreamed up has come to fruition. Okay, so what you're gonna do first is you're gonna get a white piece of paper and you're gonna draw a circle on the piece of paper just like an outline. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna create 2 columns stemming out from the circle. In the circle is where you are gonna take a moment to draw. Yes, if you have like color pencils or crayons. It was literally like all these adults during the lesson were all just sitting in silence, like drawing with like crayons. And what you're gonna draw basically is think of something that you really, really want, okay? Think of like something that you wanna accomplish. For me at the time, I had a really small YouTube channel and I was like, please, I just want to hit 100,000 subscribers. I so desperately want a YouTube plaque, okay? That was what my goal was. So I want you to think about right now, like pause the video if you have to, think about what is something that you want to accomplish. Maybe that is moving into your dream home. Maybe that is buying your dream car or getting a dog or getting a cat or accomplishing a really big goal at work, selling a house. Like think of like something that would be incredible for you to accomplish, a dream. So for me, on February 18th of 2018, this is what I drew. Let's take a moment and let's draw what we want to happen for us. So I will do this with you guys because I really do need to think about like, what do I want this year? Okay, so just really fast, what I drew was my vision is I want to get a dog and have a house. But I basically just envisioned that I would have my dog in a house. Maybe it's this place, maybe it's not, but I definitely want to get a dog. That's my vision. So what I want you to first write down are resources that you have. So in this section, you are going to write down what are the resources that you already have to make the dream come true. So if we're going back to me wanting 100,000 YouTube subscribers, I wrote down for my resources that I have I wrote this in 2018. I wrote down, you have to write down 5 things. The first thing I wrote down was, I have a nice camera to film. I already had that. The second thing I wrote down was, a flexible schedule is what I already have to make this come true. The third thing is, I already have lighting to make this 100,000 subscribers to come true. The fourth one is editing software. I already had it. And the fifth one was a home or a setting. So I literally already had the resources to make this dream come true. Whenever I was doing this exercise at that time, I literally was dumbfounded. I was like, wait, the resources that I already have, sorry, my air conditioning, I cannot turn it off, so I'm sorry. What I want you to do is write 5 things that you already have that can help this dream that you drew down come true. So if I, want the dog, what do I already have? So let me just write down resources and the 5 things. Okay, so I wrote down like the 5 ways, the 5 resources that I have for mine. And the next one that you're gonna do is, what are the resources that you need? So back onto the example of 100,000 subscribers. The resources that I need was filming friends and peers, number 1. The second thing I needed was consistency in order to hit my goal. The third resources that I needed was modern background. The fourth one was a filming space. And the fifth one was connections. So this was interesting to write down because what was holding me back from creating videos, I thought was bigger than these like meaningless things. I can't hit my dream because I need connections. Are you kidding? I couldn't hit my dream because I didn't have the right filming space. I couldn't hit my dream because I didn't have a modern background. I couldn't hit my dream because I wasn't consistent. Like, the resources that you need to get to your dream may surprise you. So take a moment and write down 5 resources that you need to make your dream up here come true. So in the middle, you're gonna write down milestones that have happened once you reach your dream. So when you reach your dream, what are some of the milestones that you'll get from it? So here I wrote 100,000 subscribers, I have a thriving blog, I have a filming office, I have a television and magazine interview, I quit my job, I have 4 figures monthly, I build my dream home. So these are some of the milestones that I wanted at the time and whenever I hit my dream up here. So for you, in the middle of your page, write down milestones and then write some of like the goals that you hope to accomplish having had your dream come true. And this is like an unlimited amount. You don't have to like number it. Okay, so now that you've done the middle content, the last thing that you need to do is you are gonna write down barriers / obstacles / risks. What could come in the way of fulfilling your dream? So for me at the time, I wrote some barriers, obstacles, and risks could be 1, mindset. The second one could be the location is a barrier. The third one is never achieving fame. I don't care for that anymore, but that was one of the barriers or obstacles or risks. 4 was a solo dream. This, I don't really know what I meant at the time. Number 5, I wrote time. Maybe I didn't have enough time to give to having this dream come true. Number 6 was the energy that I needed to make my dream come true. Number 7 was space and background, probably for filming. Number 8 was consistency. And number 9 was quality. So anything that is like holding you back, write down here. And here's a sneak peek. The things that were holding me back were pretty trivial. They were not as important and as big as I imagined my obstacles were that were holding me back from my dream coming true. And that was a big awakening. So spend some time really fast to write down at least 10 or less of obstacles, barriers, and risks. So I'm gonna write that down. That is it. That's basically your Apacheta moment. You drew your dream, you wrote down the resources that you have to make it come true, the resources that you need, your milestones, once hitting it or to hit it, and some of the obstacles that could just really be in the way, or maybe they're really not even that big of an obstacle that is in the way of you having your dream come true. This is such a wonderful exercise for you to just get a good idea of your dreams really are not that hard to achieve if you kind of think about it. Like when I did this, look, let me just pan the camera. Do you see my YouTube plaque on the wall right there? It came true. It was as easy as that, because when I did this exercise, I realized that the things that I thought were in the way of me hitting that plaque were really not big things at all. I had the house, I had the camera, I had the editing software, I had me. That's it. Literally, that's all I needed to make this dream come true. I just had to act upon it and believe that I could get there. So, wasn't that fun? Let's get into the 4th one. Okay, so this next one is so cute, and I was inspired by my best friend Sheridan. She actually recommended that I do this last year, and I don't know how I never thought about it, but in a way it's kind of like vision boarding, but on Pinterest. So let me show you what I mean. Okay, so if you've never used Pinterest before, it's basically like a website where you can get visual inspiration and ideas from, but for the sake of the video, a really fun thing that you can do is create a board. So a board is like a folder with like ideas and inspiration that you want to like go back to. So for this one, this is creating a vision board on Pinterest. For me and for you, what we could do is create a vision board of what we want 2023 to look like. Okay, so what we're first gonna do is we're gonna create a board on our account. And here I'm going to title it my vision year. What am I gonna title it? My vision year, wait. So what I'm gonna title it is my 2023 vision year. You can title it whatever you want, but just, I think that's what I want to title mine, because it's what I want my 2023 to look like. So the very first thing that I want to search up in Pinterest is the Dominican Republic. So I'm hopefully going to be going in April with Jen to the DR, and that's just something that I want to already claim. I want to do this. I think it'll be so fun, and I'm just going to find an image that really resonates with me, something that inspires me and excites me. So I found my image and I'm going to save it to that board. The next thing that I want in 2023, and this is so like cringy and I'm really, really sorry, but I really want a really good relationship. And I feel like by that time I will be in a really good headspace. So I'm gonna look up a really cringy, cute couple photo. Yeah, I'm really going there. So I'm gonna find one. This one looks cute, cringy, I really don't know, and we're gonna save it to the board. This is gonna be good inspo for me to be like, I want that. So we're gonna keep doing this. Think of things that you want to happen for you in 2023, visualize it, and add it to the board. So for me, I wanna keep a consistent workout, so I'm gonna find an image related to that. I wanna save up for a house, so I'm gonna look up savings mantras, or like things that I can add, like money mantras. I want to move out of my apartment into a house. I'm going to visualize a house. Visualizing a puppy in my life. So I'm going to go type in the exact breed that I would love. Please, for the love of God, do not come at me. And so you're going to think of all the things that you want to happen for you in 2023, okay? Or whatever year you're watching this video. Then, anytime you lose focus of what you're living for, so anytime you lose focus of what do I even want, you're gonna go back to the board and you're gonna add stuff to it. Get as specific as you can. Being able to refer back to this is gonna be, and you know what, a bonus would be, take all the images, put it into Canva or Photoshop and make a visual board and print it out so you can look at it every day. But I can't do that because it would ruin my aesthetic of my apartment. So I'm gonna keep it in Pinterest. And now let's get into the last one. Truly, we have made it. So this book that I'm holding in my hand is called Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. I read this, I say that lightly. I skimmed through this in high school. Can you believe that they had, I read this book this year and I couldn't believe that they had high schoolers reading this book. It is so hard to understand. I mean, it wasn't hard to understand, but I needed to live life in order to appreciate this book. So this is what it looks like. Basically, there was one day where I was like, I don't know what I'm living life for. Not like suicidal, but like I really was like, what am I doing with my life? The book is basically about a neurologist / psychiatrist who gets put into a concentration camp. And through this, he documents finding meaning in life when it seems like there is just truly no meaning in life. And I imagine I couldn't imagine. I could not imagine what the psyche is going through in a concentration camp. Like people are dying all around you, and it's like, how can you even have hope in a situation like that? So this book is essentially that. How can someone get through such a torturous and traumatic moment and continue to have hope that there are good things to come in life? And how can you appreciate life in such circumstances? So basically, like, the first half of the book is him documenting what it was like for him to be in a concentration camp, which I will say this is the most incredible book that I have ever read. I was in tears. It was so moving. If I could recommend this for every human being, I would. The second half of the book is basically a discussion of his approach to psychiatry called logotherapy, which is based on the belief that each person needs to find something in his or her life, something particular and personal to them, to give their life meaning. So he conjured up the term logotherapy. And basically, like, you need to look outside of yourself. And just a repeat, it's based on the belief that each person needs to find something in his or her life, something particular and personal to them, to give their life meaning. Like, I have highlighted so much of this book. Let me read you one highlight. The greatest task for any person is to find meaning in his or her life. Frankl saw 3 possible sources for meaning: in work, doing something significant; in love, caring for another person; and in courage, during difficult times. Like, incredible. Forces beyond your control can take away everything you possess, except one thing: your freedom to choose how you will respond to the situation. You cannot control what happens to you in life, but you can control what you will feel and do about what happens to you. So remember, he was in a concentration camp, and that is what he is writing. Like, truly rewind this and, like, listen to that. Like, this whole book is so incredible. Wow. He wrote, "At that moment, I became intensely conscious of the fact that no dream, no matter how horrible, could be as bad as the reality of the camp which surrounded us, and to which I was about to recall him." So I think him was like the higher power. But this book, do yourself a favor. If you feel really lost in life, sometimes you just need a reset, and, like, oh my, I can't give it justice. Everywhere man is confronted with fate, with the chance of achieving something through his own suffering. Incredible. Wow. Just truly. Well, that is really like the end of the video, and I'm sitting here super moved and appreciated that I am able to share these 5 things with you all. I honestly feel really just grateful that I'm able to share these 5 things. I truly hope that one of these will help you if you feel really lost and you feel like alone, or just you don't know what's happening. Give yourself some grace, because we are really living in a really hard time of human existence. And even myself, like, it is really hard to consume news and look around the world and just see how, like, it seems dark, but sometimes reading a book like this will be that light for you, knowing that during dark times there is light as well. And if this video was helpful for you, it would support me more than you know if you give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and comment down below which one was the most, like, interesting for you. I'm very curious, and I just, like, really am so thankful that you made it to the end of the video. And if you did, let me know by commenting down. I'm gonna change my life, and that'll let me know that we're all on this journey, because we should always be evolving, no matter how old or how young you are. So, shoot, thank you so much. I love you guys. I really do. And yeah, thanks for letting me make this video. I will see you in my next one, and kisses until then. And I wish you the best of luck on your journey, because there's just so much more to come for you, and I'm very excited. Kisses, you guys.